Hey, what's up YouTube? This is Shane with another knife review. Gonna kind of look at a couple knives here, kind of compare or see the differences in two Fallknivens. One is the Fallkniven F1 Pro, and then I have the older model, just the regular F1 and VG10. Thought we'd talk about these a little bit, maybe show them in some use and find out which one performs the best. I guess my ultimate goal is to see if the edge retention of the cobalt steel of the F1 Pro is supposed to be better. Let's do some cutting and testing and see if that's actually the case. So I'll kind of go over the specs fairly quick. I mean, you can find this stuff anywhere, but I'll go over it quickly so we can kind of compare that way. So here's my original F1. This one's in the laminated VG10. You can see this tip looks a little different than a brand new one. This one actually, I broke the tip off a little bit and I had a buddy of mine fix it. So this one's altered slightly, but still very functional. It's very sharp. And this is the F1 Pro model. This one is also laminated steel, but it's a cobalt steel. This one has this stainless steel guard versus just the thermal run guard here. So I will go through the specs real quick so you guys can see the differences there. The total length of the original F1 is 8.3. The F1 Pro is 8.54. So not a whole lot of difference there. Pretty darn close lengthwise. Blade length on the F1 is 3.8. The F1 Pro is 3.9. So not much difference at all there. I mean, you can see it's less than, it's just a tenth of an inch, so it's not much. Thickness on the Pro is 0.19, and on the regular F1 is 0.18, so it's just a little bit thicker, and it feels it. I mean, you can feel it in your hand. This one's a heavier, sturdier feeling knife. The weight is 6 ounces on the original, and the Pro is 6.42, so it's a little heavier. Like I said, this is Fallkniven's laminated VG10, and this is laminated cobalt steel. So this is supposed to have a lot better edge retention. I've heard anywhere up to 3 times more. I don't know if that's the case. We'll hopefully find out today if it's that much better. If you want to spend $250 or $120. Is this one worth the extra money? Hopefully we'll find out today. The hardness is 59 Rockwell versus 60, so this is a little bit harder steel. I found in the past personally, guys, and I've got several Fallknivens, their steel it does come hard, and I've had chips on the edge. Like I said, I broke the tip on this one doing some drilling. But usually once you sharpen the knife, it doesn't seem to be much of a problem after that. So that's kind of the rundown of the knives and the differences. They're both thermal run handles. They both have protruding or extruding tangs. So if you wanted to use it to hammer through something, I guess you could do that. I don't know if that'd be the best idea, but you could do it if you wanted to. They both have basically the same Zytel sheath. I don't have my original sheath for my F1. I had this custom one made. I don't even know what happened to my other one, but this is the sheath. They're both pretty similar. They have get this unlocked here. They snap into place, and I don't know if I'll be able to see it on my crappy phone here, but this little tab, click, clicks in, and it holds the knife pretty good. But the main thing is you got to snap here, and both sheaths are like this. And once you snap them in, they're not going to fall out. So pretty good sheath. I know a lot of people I've heard complain that the sheaths are not, I don't know what they expect for a knife of this caliber. I think the sheath's awesome. I had this one made because I could carry it scout, because I like to carry my knife scout carry. That's why I had this made. But honestly, that's the only fault in these, is they're not scout, and that's how I like to carry my knife. But that's just me and my personal preference. But the sheaths are great. I mean, they have a drain tube, or they have a hole in the bottom. You can't see it, but in that slot there's a hole, so if you were to get water in there, it would just drain right out. I mean, they're definitely strong enough. They do the job, and they're light. I mean, this thing weighs nothing. And it's going to protect the knife really well if it's dropped or whatever. So I don't know, I like the sheaths. So the sheaths are about the same. The Pro does come with this pretty sweet box. It's got a waterproof seal around it. I mean, it's a pretty nice box. I thought people were making a big deal about it for no reason. Yeah, whatever, it's a plastic box. It is pretty sweet. It's built pretty heavily. I mean, it's actually really strong. I can barely even flex it. So you could take this stuff out and put electronics or whatever, maybe a kit that you wanna take, whether it be fire kit or whatever the case may be. You could put anything you wanted in here. Fishing tackle, I guess, if you wanted. So you get this box with the Pro, and you also get the DC4, which on this side is a really aggressive diamond. The other side is a little bit finer ceramic. Great for field use. I mean, obviously you're going to get home and if you really use your knife and put it on your bench stone, but this will get you by. So enough of that crap. Get this out of the way. What I really want to do is put these through some tests, and I'll just kind of stop this after I show you what the tests are going to be and what I'm going to do. I want to ultimately see if this cobalt steel is that much better or any better. So I'm going to show you both knives. This one is been sharpened and stropped, so it's sharp. This is just regular printer paper. Nope, it's got maybe a little hitch in it, but it's still pretty sharp. This one is brand new. This has never cut anything. I did strop it a little bit. You can see they're both could use a little work. I mean, they're not, oh my god, scary sharp, but they're sharp. They'll get the job done. So they're both equally sharp, I'd say. Both of them could use a little work to be where I'd like them to be, but for the most part, they cut paper fairly well. I've tried them, they both shave. So what I'm going to do is try to cut some different materials. We'll make some feather sticks. I'm going to cut some cardboard, and I'll try to do it equally. So I'm going to start with the F1 Pro and just start, I'm going to count my strokes more or less and try to do it about the same for each knife. I mean, as close as possible. So I'll start doing this, and then I'll stop it and start it back up and see where we're at. Alright, so there we have it, guys. I did about 140 cuts per knife. That was fun. Okay, maybe not. But anyways, there's the pile of cardboard we have from that test. Next, let's move all this crap out of the way. And we will do a little batoning and see how they do, the difference in the knives. We'll start with the original F1. There should be a test for any knife. This is hickory, which is tough, it's hard, and it's stringy. So we'll see how it does. Okay. Now the Pro. Okay, they both can baton wood. Let's try a couple more pieces here. Got a piece of red oak. Start with the F1 Pro. Now with the F1. I feel like the Pro being a little thicker, maybe bust stuff apart a little bit easier. I don't think it's a huge difference, but seems like it does a little bit better job. Alright, let's try some round stuff here. This is hard maple. We'll start, let me see what we have here. Alright, this is the F1 Pro. You can see it's barely got enough tip hanging over, but no problem. Original F1 palette knife. There's a long knotty piece. See how it does here. Alright, let's try one of those with the F1 Pro. Got a dirt on this one. Well, here's one similar length and diameter. Yeah. I'm going to keep going, guys. I'm going to do a few more with each knife. Alright, enough batoning. So this is the wood we produce in a pretty short amount of time. All that for these two small knives. So they both can baton. I try to keep it fair with the amount of times I use each knife. Next I say let's try a feather stick. See how they do in that regard. This piece should work here. A couple of these. we'll start with the original, see how it does. All right, here's the Pro. Whew, it's a hard piece. Northern red oak, and it's hard, hard, hard. You can see they're both struggling on this. That's pretty typical of red oak. It kind of just chips off like that. Try this piece of hard maple. This is the original F1. See, this wood works a little bit easier. This is the Pro. Original F1 here. F1 Pro. A little bit different to get used to. It's a thicker, wider. This bevel here is a lot thicker than it is on this flat ground section here. So take some adjustment having your knife, the angle of your knife that you need. It works just as good, but you gotta turn it into the wood a little more. I'm going to give the edge, and it may be a little unfair, but as far as the feather sticking goes to the original F1, I mean, could be one of two reasons. This has got a little bit better edge than a factory knife, but also it's a bit thinner, so it probably should slice a little bit better. So we've done some batoning, made some feather sticks. We cut up a whole crap load of cardboard. Let's see if they will strike a fire steel. This is a fire steel. I mean, this thing is huge. I just ordered this. It's called a Eric X Light. It's gigantic. I mean, it really is. It's so heavy. But anyways, let's see how they do. The original F1 here. See how it does. Obviously, this thing's pretty intense. But that throws it. No problem. Here's the Pro. Not as good. You can see it's kind of more like a sparkler. It's not throwing any good chunks. I don't think the spine of the knife is sharp enough. Now back to the original F1. I mean, that really, you can see how it really throws some. Whew. Probably catch fire in cardboard just doing this. Yeah, look at that. That's insane. This thing's really, you gotta work. It'll do it, but not nowhere near as good. I think it probably would work fine if the spine were a little sharper, but I don't know if that's something you could do yourself or not. But straight out of the box, this one definitely throws a heck of a lot better spark. The original F1 does. So they both can throw flame, but big difference here. So let's cut some paper and see. Get this in focus here. Okay, so here's, I'll wipe this off a little bit on my pants. Get some of that glue and stuff off. We were cutting from the cardboard and sap. Okay, so we'll see if we can cut paper. It's not great. It's not great. Yeah, that pretty much sucks. Okay, I'm gonna wipe off the original F1. Okay. Well, they both suck at this point. So, maybe I went a little further on my test than I should have. We don't have a winner in that department, unfortunately. There's no if I get my camera to focus here, it's not going to. No real edge damage that I can tell. I usually run my thumbnail and you can tell if there's any chips at all. There's nothing in that one. Nothing there. So neither one of them have any edge damage as far as just being dull. So, was there an advantage to either or? Not really. This one batoned a little better. This one probably feather sticked a little better. And it definitely threw flame better. So, and this one is not any sharper than the original after the work we've done with it. So, I don't, personally, if I was on the lookout for a new knife, I wouldn't say that this at $250 is any better than this, except it's a little thicker. It's going to probably take a little more abuse. But other than that, geez, this thing does everything just as well, if not a little better, for $120, $30, $40 cheaper, depending on where you look online. So, there you have it. You got to see them both in use. You can make your own decision of what you think. I like the feel of this one a little better. It just feels better in hand, I think, because it's got some more weight to it. But certainly nothing wrong with this original F1 either. Alright, well, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully it might help you make a decision if you were thinking about buying this or buying this. Yeah, not what I expected, let's put it that way. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Have a good day. See ya.